Last week's message was, do not be afraid, because Christ is in charge of everything that happens in this world, good and bad. He permits the good, or permits the bad rather, and chooses the good. Today my message for you though is, maintain your common sense. Common sense, we say, is uncommon, because it's that gift of practical wisdom that's able to cut through a whole lot of red tape and smokescreen and camouflage and a whole lot of other things like that. It's the gift that we see of the person who has their feet planted on the ground. We live in a time where there's such hysteria going on, particularly about this pandemic, that people are living in fear, and yet they need not live in fear. So if we're going to have this common sense approach, we need to be forearmed. Forewarned, as we say, is forearmed. And it was Francis Bacon who quoted that, or made popular that phrase, knowledge is power. If we understand how the disease functions and how it spreads, and there are articles, many articles online which can give you good, reliable information. The one thing though we are not getting is that the information being fed to us by the mainstream media and by many of our leaders is only part of the truth. Let me take, for instance, the latest strain, the Delta strain of coronavirus. What we keep being told is that it's a super spreader. It is spreading really, really fast, and we should be hysterically afraid of what is going on. In fact, the Premier has mentioned some time back that really she wants us to be shocked, which is not a good message to give to your people. I would rather be saying, I want you to be informed, to know what is really happening. The Delta virus, although yes, it is faster spreading than the Alpha, but by about 50 to 55%, which means it's not 200%, or that's twice as much, or 500%, or 1,000%. It isn't some incredible number, 50% more. So to put it into context, it means that there's a thing called a contagion metric. So the contagion metric for alpha virus of the COVID-19 was between 2 and 2.5, which means the average person who would get it would likely pass it on to anywhere between 2 and 2.5 people. The Delta virus has a contagion metric of between 3 and 3.75, which means the person with the Delta virus can spread it to anywhere between 3 and 3.75 people. So it's not 25 more people or 50 more people, as you might be led to believe. But you see, we're not told this. You have to go and read up and research it for yourselves. So yes, it spreads more, but not that much more. It's a reasonable amount, yes, but it is not astronomically more. On the other hand, what we are definitely not being told, unless you go and read up about it, is that the Delta virus is only less than 1/6 as harmful as the Alpha strain. The mortality rate for the Alpha strain is 1.9% of cases end up dying, whereas in the Delta strain, it's 0.3% of cases end up dying. 99.4% of cases, that's a huge figure, 99.4% of cases of the Delta virus are actually mild. So what we're being alarmed about, and many people are very nervous and anxious and even scared out of their wits, is that this Delta virus threatens to kill half the society. Well, it will not. It will not. That's not what the science is. So even though many of our leaders are giving us this very alarming message, they're actually not exercising common sense, because it's not based on the science. It's based on some fear or something else, which is not a responsible thing to do by leaders, elected officials in a community. So I invite you to be as informed as you can be, that yes, there is a disease there, but don't let it in your mind become much bigger than what it is, because it's in fact the Delta virus. Yes, it spreads faster by 50%, but it's actually less than 1/6 as harmful as the alpha strain. So be at peace, but also apply your common sense and maintain an outlook of perspective and common sense. Thank you for joining me. Look forward to seeing you again next time.